Welcome to the Get Fit Guys quick and dirty tips to slim down and shape up. My name is Ben Greenfield and I'm the Get Fit Guy. For some people, getting ripped means looking like Brad Pitt in Fight Club or Demi Moore in G.I. Jane. And for others, getting ripped means being able to at least see a few of the muscles on your abs, or perhaps not be embarrassed about getting into a swimsuit. And for yet others, it means finally fitting into that tight t-shirt or pair of fitted jeans that have been hiding in your closet. Whichever your personal goals, in this two-part series, you're going to get my top 10 quick and dirty tips for getting ripped, building muscle, burning fat, and toning your body as fast as possible. So let's jump right in with my first 5 tips on how to get ripped. Tip number 1 is to always be moving, and it's pretty rare that I find a ripped person who doesn't have a high amount of movement in their life. And it's one reason why the ectomorph body type, which is the body type with a screaming high metabolism, tends to find it very easy to get ripped if they exercise the proper way. And if you're wondering if you're an ectomorph or some other body type, you can take the questionnaire and also find out what your body type is over at getfitguy.com. But let's say that you're not an ectomorph body type. You can still keep your metabolism elevated with movement, and you can do it without stepping foot into a gym. Here are some simple ways that I advise my clients and that you too can always be moving. Number 1 is to grease the groove. And greasing the groove is a concept I originally discovered in a book called The Naked Warrior by a guy named Paavo Zazzolini. The idea is basically this. Instead of doing a long workout at the gym, you simply spread your exercises throughout the day. This not only allows you to become proficient at certain movements, but also elevates your metabolism and your fat-burning enzymes throughout the day, so you maintain that ripped look. For example, I have a pull-up bar installed above the door of my office, and every time I walk under that bar, I have a rule that I have to do 5 pull-ups. So by the end of the day, I'll have done 50 or 60 pull-ups. Other examples of greasing the groove include doing 20 bodyweight squats every time you go to the bathroom, doing 25 jumping jacks for every hour that you sit at your desk, or doing 10 push-ups during every commercial break of a television program. Now, the next way that you can constantly be moving is to fidget, and motion detectors have shown that the more active you are, the more likely you are to burn extra fat, and that motion can take place via tiny, seemingly insignificant daily activities, such as chewing gum, tapping your feet, rolling your head in circles, shrugging your shoulders, twiddling your fingers, and, of course, taking the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator counts as an even more advanced form of fidgeting. The next way to move more is to stand. And in the Get Fit Guy episode 7 Ways to Burn Calories by Standing More, I taught you that standing can increase the activity of your fat-burning enzymes and keep many of your tiny core, leg, and feet muscles working all day long, which actually helps significantly in helping you to get ripped. So what are some easy ways that you can stand more? Well, you can stand when you're waiting, such as at the doctor's office or the Department of Motor Vehicles. You can stand when you're working, and I use a standing workstation. Some people also use a treadmill workstation. You can stand while you're flying. When I'm on an airplane, I'll often read, listen to music, and watch programs on my phone or my e-reader while I'm standing in the back of the plane. You can stand when you're snacking, which means that you're going to be prone to eat less and metabolize calories more quickly when you eat in that standing position. And you can stand while you're on the phone. When you talk on the phone, you can stand up, pace the room, or even stretch. So that's the first way that you can get ripped, is to always be moving. My next tip is to sprint. Now, many people are already ripped with good muscle definition, but that muscle is simply covered up by a layer of fat. And one of the fastest ways to strip fat off your body fast as possible is to sprint. So how can you implement the strategy of sprinting to get ripped? Well, you can try performing several sprints on the treadmill after you've lifted weights at the gym, or you could just head out into the backyard, park, or your neighborhood street and do a few sprint repeats on your days off from weight training. You can even do your sprints on a bicycle or an elliptical trainer if sprinting hurts your hips or your knees. Anyways, try to include 5 to 10 short sprints whenever you do a sprint workout. Sprint for around 15 to 30 seconds and get full recovery after each sprint, which means you'll generally be recovering about 3 to 4 times longer than you actually sprinted. Try to include sprinting 2 to 3 times a week for optimal results. Tip number 3 to get ripped is to lift heavy. Now, while you can certainly get fit by lifting high reps with low weights or low reps with high weights, if you actually want to get ripped, it works best to burn your fat with metabolic conditioning, like the sprinting that I just described, and combine that with heavier lifting, which will result in a fat-burning hormone release that exceeds what you'll get from lighter weightlifting with lots of repetitions. Full body, heavy exercises like squats, deadlifts, bench presses, and even Olympic lifts, if you know how to do them properly, should ideally be used at about 85 to 95% of your one repetition maximum. Now, you need to do 2 to 3 full body weightlifting workouts per week, whether you're a guy or a girl, combined with a few sprint or interval-based workouts per week to get the best ripped results. And in part 2 of this series, I'm going to give you a sample workout that shows you how to combine full body weightlifting with high intensity interval sessions throughout your week. Now, if you're a beginner or you're new to weight training, don't let this concept of heavy lifting scare you away. You can simulate many of the full body exercises that I just described on weight training machines until you're strong and skilled enough to perform the free weight barbell or dumbbell or kettlebell versions. Tip number 4 is to increase your testosterone. Now, whether you're a male or a female, higher levels of circulating testosterone will allow you to burn fat and build muscle faster. Fortunately, a couple of the tips that I've already given you in this episode, sprinting and lifting heavy stuff, will increase testosterone quickly. Some other ways that you can increase testosterone include, number 1, resting for a long time in between your sets. Scientists have studied the effects of very short rest periods on testosterone and found that longer rest periods of around 2 minutes between weight training sets are better for building testosterone. Now, you can learn about why long rest periods work to increase testosterone by following a link that I'll put in the show notes for this episode over at quickanddirtytips.com. But what this means is that, for example, if you're going to be doing sets of barbell squats, in between those squats, you can do a little foam rolling, a little light walking, moving around, talking, etc. But you wouldn't actually want to do lots and lots of back-to-back exercise with very short rest periods if your goal is to increase testosterone. Now, the next thing is called forced reps. You can do forced reps in which you perform a weightlifting exercise for as many reps as you can, and then you have a partner, also called a spotter, assist you with completing several additional repetitions, anywhere from 1 to 5 extra reps. If you don't have a partner or a spotter, then you can exercise on weight training machines to allow you to do these forced reps. Now, research shows that this type of forced rep set generates more testosterone than simply doing as many reps as you can do by yourself. The next way to increase testosterone is to train your legs. And in another study that investigated the hormonal response to weight training, participants were split into an arm-only training group and a leg plus arm training group. Testosterone increases were significantly higher in the group that added lower body training to their upper body training. And then finally, eat right. From grass-fed beef to oysters, you should include traditional testosterone-boosting foods in your day. But as you learn in an article that I'm going to link to in the show notes about natural supplement and dietary methods to boost testosterone, whether you're a guy or a girl, if you're trying to get ripped, you can also include adequate levels of zinc, vitamin D, cholesterol, boron, and even natural herbal anti-inflammatory supplements in your diet to help boost your testosterone even higher. Now, the 5th method that I'm going to give you in this episode is cold thermogenesis. And in the article, How to Burn Fat Without Exercise, you learn that one trick to burn fat and get ripped fast without exercising is to implement a daily hot-cold contrast shower, which is actually a little bit better for enhancing fat loss compared to just using cold showers alone. Now, to do this free fat-burning method correctly, you simply take a shower and you alternate between 10 seconds of warm water to 20 seconds of cold water 10 times through. That's just 5 minutes if you do the math, but it's free fat burning if you're going to be in the shower anyways, which I hope my highly hygienic listeners would be. Now, in addition to that, I also personally wear a cool fat burner vest, which you can check out over at coolfatburner.com when I'm working on my computer at home. And sometimes I'll jumpstart that cool fat burner vest protocol with that cold shower that I just described. On cooler spring and fall days, I go outside each morning to do a goosebump-packed stretch routine before I start my workday. And all of this adds up to a significant amount of fat burning and getting ripped without any actual exercise. So, those are the first 5 tips to get ripped. Always be moving, sprint every week, lift heavy stuff, increase your testosterone, and use cold thermogenesis. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to give you 5 more tips to get ripped. But in the meantime, if you have more questions about how to get ripped, then join the conversation over at facebook.com/getfitguy. And until next time, I'm the Get Fit Guy asking you, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.